So, wer will denn jetzt schreiben? Zum Beispiel, welchen Modus ich spielen soll oder ob ich competitive spielen soll. Könnt ihr alles schreiben. Hier sehe ich aber nur Twitch, also auf YouTube muss ich kurz drauf gehen.
Hey guys, I'm here at Blizzard getting a tour.
Oh, sorry.
Watch where you're going. Hey guys, I'm with Torbjorn.
It's Torbjorn.
Torbjorn. Torbjorn.
Torbjorn.
Torbjorn. You're a dwarf, right?
I'm not a dwarf.
He's a dwarf.
Right.
Hey guys, I'm here with Sombra.
I know. I could just.
Guys, I found Diva. Diva, would you go to dinner with me?
I have a boyfriend.
Yeah, that's my next. That's my next.
You must forgive yourself, brother. Genji got no chill. Oh man, look who it is. Symmetra.
You were not meant for greatness.
Yes, I was. Hey, McCrea, what time is it?
That ain't gonna work this time, Lucia. Step off.
It's high noon.
Thanks, Torbjorn.
It's Torbjorn.
Wednesday, how's it hanging?
Oh, you're pretty good. I mean, I spend a lot of time exercising. Oh, I get it.
I'm here with Tracer. Oh my God.
Experience tranquility.
Say what?
It says, not a young man anymore. We're all animals. You take my line, I'll take yours. Deal!
By my calculations, I'm a real animal. Peanut butter and bacon.
Hey, what's going on? End of the day, leaving the Blizzard campus.
Need to know where the bathroom is.
Who is that? Who is that? Reaper.
Hello everybody, Marksness here, and today we want to take another look at some of our favorite dialogue interactions in Overwatch. These dialogue interactions are distinct in their rarity. They require certain conditions or certain characters playing on a certain map. Among triggered interactions in the game, these are some of the ones that we find to be most interesting. So here are the top 10 rare dialogue interactions in Overwatch. This specific dialogue interaction includes an introspective moment between the master and student, Zenyatta and Genji. This requires Genji and Zenyatta to be on the same team together for the King's Row map, and Zenyatta will reference his Shambali brother Mandata, who was previously assassinated by Widowmaker in the same area as seen in the CG short Alive. Genji will ask Zenyatta,
"Does the suffering of the Omnics here trouble you, Master?"
It does. My brother Mandata gave much to improve their lives, but it was not to be.
It's a very real and somewhat tragic moment that shows the deeper layers of Zenyatta's character. Genji and Winston did serve on that dangerous mission against Doomfist, but it's not a pair that you often think of regarding Overwatch. Usually you think Pharah and Ana, Reaper and Soldier 76, Winston and Tracer, or Genji and Hanzo. But Genji and Winston actually do have a couple interesting dialogue interactions if you happen to get them together, and it's pretty funny. Genji says,
"I always liked working with you, Winston. No awkward small talk."
Always liked working with you, too. You have a great sense of humor.
"Get it? That is awkward small talk. It's hilarious." So it seems that D.Va actually knows how to read. I kid. It's because she's a gamer and is always gaming, thinking about gaming, talking about gaming, eating Doritos, drinking Mountain Dew, and such. But D.Va and Mei isn't a pairing that you think of very often when you think Overwatch or Overwatch dialogue interactions. But there is one between the two where D.Va remarks that she's read Mei's journal and loves it. She states,
May, I love reading your journal. I'm so jealous you get to go to all those places.
That's true. I guess you don't get to travel very much.
well, that's sort of a rude reply. Figures, because Mei's a cold-hearted, cold-blooded ice demon. How does she even know D.Va doesn't get to travel very much? She's a professional gamer, or at least she was. Maybe she gets to travel on tour across the world for the pro gaming circuit. Shut up, Mei. A fairly new dialogue interaction between Pharah and Reinhardt from the Winter Wonderland event map references an actual in-game spray about them doing a little bit of ice fishing. Pharah asks Reinhardt,
Reinhardt, are we still on for ice fishing? You're not still sore about last year, are you?
Last year. I'll show you. I'll catch twice as many as you this year.
just the visual of Pharah beating Reinhardt at fishing is hilarious. There's another new dialogue interaction that was recently added during the Winter Wonderland event between Torbjorn and Reinhardt. that specifically references Torbjorn's daughter and Reinhardt's companion, Bridget. Torbjorn says,
Reinhardt, you'd better not be filling my daughter's head with stories.
She hardly listens to them anyways.
Is Torbjorn possibly concerned that Bridget wants to follow in his footsteps and someday join Overwatch due to the stories told by Reinhardt? Is Reinhardt correct in his assumption that she doesn't listen to them? Very interesting indeed. There's one dialogue interaction in the game that specifically references a very mysterious aspect of Junkrat's official backstory in the in-game universe lore. When Junkrat was still in Australia, he found a mysterious secret or treasure inside the wreckage of the destroyed Australian Omnium. What he found is not clear. However, it was the reason he hired Roadhog as his bodyguard and partner in crime. And other characters are aware he found something. If you have Reaper and Junkrat playing together on the same team at the Temple of Anubis, Reaper might ask Junkrat, "What did you find in there, rat?" "No idea what you're saying, mate." As usual with Junkrat, he always plays dumb when it involves his secret Omnium treasure. And another one featuring Junkrat. This is an amusing dialogue interaction between him and Roadhog when they're playing on the same team on King's Row. Here, Junkrat will mention his heist with Roadhog where they stole the crown jewels of England. Junkrat will say,
Remember that time we stole the crown jewels? All hail King Jameson Fawkes the First and, Duke Roadhog? What is your name anyways?
Mako.
There's finally a mention of Torbjorn's wife, Ingrid Lindholm, with Mercy, if you're playing on the same team back in the Winter Wonderland map. Mercy will mention,
Torbjorn, I miss Ingrid's apple pie at the holidays.
Well, it just so happens she has some saved for you.
What a sweet and considerate couple the Lindholms are for making and saving apple pies for family friends during the holidays. Isn't that just the sweetest? Plus, this dialogue interaction also reveals that Torbjorn's wife is actually named Ingrid, which we didn't know before. All we knew was that one of his 20-some-odd children was named Bridget. Orisa wants to terminate Bastion. Terminate. Most of Bastion's dialogue interactions with Overwatch are one-sided. He won't often reply to the other characters with his beepy, bloopy, boopy language. There are actually several dialogue interactions between Orisa and Bastion in the game. Bastion actually only replies to this specific one, when Orisa says,
"Scanning Bastion, model E54 detected. All models subject to termination."
Kind of a mean thing for the normally nice and polite Orisa to say. She went and hurt Bastion's feelings. Oh. This is another dialogue interaction requiring Mercy and Reinhardt being together during the Winter Wonderland event. Mercy asks Reinhardt,
Reinhardt, what are your plans for the holidays?
I'll probably visit Torbjorn's family in Gothenburg, like the last few years.
That's just like what happened with the Reflections comic, with Reinhardt visiting Torbjorn and his family over Christmas. It looks like it's a fairly annual event for the group based on this interaction. And just before we wrap up our list is an honorable mention Tracer line. If you manage to score a Reaper kill while playing as Tracer, she will sometimes utter the line, "Death comes." It's a bit of playfulness from Tracer, but it almost seems a bit more macabre than even when Reaper says it, simply because she's now joking about death. Well, that's our list for the top 10 rare dialogue interactions in Overwatch. What did you think? Did you have any other ones? Hey there, Moxness here, and for today's Overwatch video, we are going to explore one of our most favorite things in Overwatch, the dialogue interactions. So the dialogue interactions between characters in the game can make for some really fun moments, and sometimes they'll even provide some revealing backstory information. So we've compiled a list of what we feel are the best dialogue interactions in the game based on these kind of criteria. So behold, the top 10 greatest dialogue interactions in Overwatch.
One of these days, someone's gonna put an end to you.
I invite them to try.
Reaper and Soldier 76 have some great dialogue exchanges in the game, but this one especially is not only cool, but quite interesting. Maybe we are almost reading too much into this, but it almost seems to suggest a greater level of misery on the part of Reaper. It's almost like he is daring somebody, anybody, to be the one to actually kill Reaper and end his suffering. Perhaps even Reaper doesn't know how to kill himself. There's also something rather tragic about this whole relationship. They are two former friends and allies, brothers in arms, who are now locked in an eternal conflict that will only end when one or both of them are dead. Die, die, die. Doomfist and Hanzo will find his own path. Hanzo may not be a hero in the strictest definition of the word, he may not be a part of Overwatch, but he's not going to join up with Talon either. Hanzo was raised in the Shimada clan, which was a notorious crime family in Japan. Despite having voluntarily left that crime family, one might think that Hanzo would be a natural recruit to Talon. Previously, there was a past dialogue interaction with Widowmaker and Hanzo where it seems that Talon wanted to recruit Hanzo, and they tempt him with the rebuilding of the Shimada Empire.
Talon could restore your family's empire.
But at what cost?
Hanzo's response suggested conflict. However, after Doomfist was added to the game, there's a new dialogue interaction between Doomfist and Hanzo that shows that Hanzo will have nothing to do with Talon.
Hanzo, you should consider joining us. I think we'd see eye to eye.
I would have little to gain from such an arrangement. No, I will find my own path.
Hanzo outright refuses to join Talon, and he claims that he will find his own path. That's a major statement. While Hanzo might not be ready to sing Kumbaya with the recalled members of Overwatch, he's not going to join the ranks of Talon's inner circle anytime soon. Moira and Widowmaker.
How are you feeling, Lacroix?
I don't feel. That's the point, isn't it?
This is a very interesting exchange between the evil Talon scientist Moira and Talon's cold-blooded assassin Widowmaker. It suggests and hints at so much. This exchange hints at a whole implied history between Moira and Widowmaker. Did Moira possibly have a hand in Widowmaker's transformation into an assassin? Well, we already know that Moira performed experiments on Gabriel Reyes that likely caused his whole transformation into Reaper, and if she had a hand in Widowmaker's backstory, it would not be a huge leap. Additionally, Widowmaker's line does seem to suggest that on some level she still does have feelings and emotions, which is indicated by her rather vindictive reply toward Moira. Just because you act cold and harsh doesn't mean you are acting without feelings. Reaper tries to burn Winston.
Poor Winston has to hide away so he doesn't scare the children.
Reaper tries to burn poor Winston, however, Winston is not one to get bullied or to be insulted lying down.
I don't even think children are afraid of you.
Instead, he hits Reaper back with an insult of his own that's, well, I mean, it's not really funny, it's a totally Winston response, and that's why this interaction is great. McCree ain't Joel. This is a simple yet incredibly effective interaction between Sombra and Joel. McCree is a man of few words, but you best remember to never call him Joel. Of all of McCree's badass dialogue and lines in the game, it's one of our favorites. It's simple and to the point.
Pleasure working with you, McCree. If that is your real name.
Don't know what you heard, but my name's not Joel. Best remember that.
Sombra makes a habit of hacking the world and finding out everyone's secret, yet this dialogue exchange suggests that McCree is someone that Sombra doesn't know as much about, and he's more of an enigma to her. And all McCree wants Sombra to know is that she better not call him Joel. It says a lot about both characters. Junkrat steals Tracer's line. We like this particular dialogue interaction between Junkrat and Tracer because of Junkrat stealing Tracer's catchphrase and her shocked and offended reaction.
Cheers, mate. The cavalry's here.
That's my line.
It's fun to see someone like Junkrat mock Tracer, especially considering Tracer stole her very catchphrase from Torbjorn during the Kingsrow Uprising, and that is officially part of Overwatch canon. Genji and Mercy exchanging chocolates.
I got you some chocolates, Genji. Swiss. They're the best.
Thank you, Angela. Perhaps you could share them with me?
While there are multiple hints of a possible Genji and Mercy romance in Overwatch, but none are bigger than the chocolate exchanging interactions for the pair. Particularly when both are on the Hanamura map. Mercy gifts Genji some chocolates, and Genji thanks her, and then asks Mercy to share the chocolates with him. Just so you know, Valentine's Day is celebrated a bit differently in Japan. Traditionally on Valentine's Day in Japan, women grant men the gifts of things such as chocolate. And then later, on White Day in March, men may show their affection in return and offer women some gifts. We prefer this dialogue exchange for our Genji/Mercy shipping since it's cute and sweet. And the other exchange where Genji offers Mercy chocolates, God, leaves a bad taste in our mouths, no pun intended, is because the chocolates Genji offers Mercy aren't Swiss, and then Mercy acts like a jerk about it. It's a gift. Be nice. At least this exchange shows there could be romance in the air for Genji and Mercy. McCree learned from the best. It seems Gabriel Reyes wasn't the only mentor for McCree during his days in Overwatch and Blackwatch. It seems that Ana Amari taught him a thing or two as well. So if you are a fan of the way McCree plays with his shooting skills in Overwatch, you can thank Ana for that. In a dialogue interaction with Farah, McCree reveals that while he was a good shot, he got some pointers from Farah's mother, Ana.
McCree, where did you learn to shoot like that? Was it Jack?
Always was a good shot, but well, I got a few pointers from the best. That'd be your mother?
It's not often that you hear McCree compliment or revere anyone. It speaks of how much he highly respects Ana as a comrade and a mentor. It also shows that Ana was probably a more skilled shooter than both Jack Morrison and Gabriel Reyes. Winston and Tracer talk about the Chronal Accelerator. Winston and Tracer are truly platonic BFFs. They have one of the best relationships in Overwatch, and they are truly friends to the end. You can see it in their dialogue interactions as well. For example, one interaction will have Winston asking Tracer,
"Need any adjustments to your Chronal Accelerator?"
Tracer then responds,
I think... Just kidding, Winston. It works great.
You see, Winston and Tracer, they're very close. Winston built Tracer's Chronal Accelerator that helps her stay anchored to the present and keeps her from polarizing out of existence or out of the time stream or whatever the heck kind of magical sciencey crap happens there. So Winston takes a very overly concerned parent attitude, sometimes with Tracer, as he does here. And Tracer decides to take the edge off by having a little good-natured joke about it all to try and decrease the tension. That's how the two balance each other out. Winston is the more serious friend and Tracer is more of the laid-back joker. You can see other signs of their close relationship based off this dialogue with how Winston reacts to Doomfist almost killing Tracer in the Doomfist Origins trailer and how Tracer and her girlfriend decide to visit Winston over Christmas time during the Reflections comic. Farah and Ana, mother and daughter, are one. There are a lot of great dialogue interactions involving Ana and Farah, or variations there, but this is one of the greatest because it has a sense of dramatic gravitas and also resolution to it.
Mom, I know why you didn't want me to join Overwatch, but it's still what I want.
I didn't want that life for you, but I know that it's your decision, and I will support it.
There are other dialogue interactions that suggest some tension and conflict between Farah and Ana. It seems that even believing her mother to be dead, Farah is somewhat estranged from the memory of her mother. What Farah misunderstood is that Ana simply didn't want Farah to have to go through a life of fighting and conflict. However, this exchange proves that mother and daughter have come to a greater understanding of each other. Farah's tone shows that she now knows her mother is alive after Ana faked her own death, and Farah has also forgiven her for it. Meanwhile, Ana's line shows that she has now accepted Farah's decision to be a soldier, and Farah is following her own path for her life, making her own decisions. This is one of, if not the most powerful and revealing dialogue interactions in all of Overwatch. And that was our list of the top 10 greatest dialogue interactions in Overwatch. But what did you think of the list? Are there any that you see as being... Hey there, Moxes here with a new Overwatch video, again looking at in-game dialogue interactions. Last time we picked out the dialogue interactions that we thought were some of the most cringy, groan-inducing interactions in the game, and some of you agreed with us and others didn't. Now, this time we decided to go a bit more positive by picking the character dialogue interactions that we think are some of the funniest. Now keep in mind, we're not including voice lines here. All the items in this list are pre-written interactions that occur in-game without player input. So with these interactions, maybe you'll agree with them, maybe you won't. Either way, post what you think are the most funny dialogue interactions in Overwatch in the comment section down below. And without further ado, here are our top picks for the 10 most hilarious dialogue interactions in Overwatch. Reaper wants to blow up Junkrat. It's pretty simple. Junkrat likes blowing things up. So what does he tell Reaper?
You look like the kind of guy who could use something blown up.
And of course, Reaper just replies,
"A candidate just came to mind."
Haha, implied murderous threats. Lucio wants to know how Winston is hanging. This is just one of those typical guerrilla jokes, and it's surprisingly effective. Lucio asks Winston,
Winston, how's it hanging?
Winston replies in a serious and analytical manner, as Winston is known to do, before he wises up to the joke.
Okay, I guess. We got this big mission coming up. Oh, I get it.
Hilarious. Classic guerrilla humor. Torbjorn and Reinhardt razz on each other. As longtime comrades, Torbjorn Lindholm and Reinhardt Wilhelm have a close relationship. Well, that means they don't mind taking each other down a peg or two with some funny yet good-natured joking and razzing. For their in-game dialogue interaction, Torbjorn tells Reinhardt,
"I sometimes wonder if all that armor slows your brain down."
Reinhardt then replies,
"Yeah, and I sometimes wonder if your height is why you're always in such a bad mood."
Or Reinhardt might say,
Could you say that again? Sometimes it's hard to hear you all the way down there.
heh, short people jokes. Tracer and Tracer. Now this one's great because Tracer actually has a dialogue interaction with herself. You see, due to Tracer's accident in a test flight for a prototype fighter jet, she's been displaced in time and needs her chronal accelerator to stay anchored to the present. As such, Tracer can have an in-game dialogue interaction with another player as Tracer, commenting on how weird that is. She'll say,
"Whoa, it's me! Is my chronal accelerator malfunctioning again?"
To which the other Tracer will respond,
"Wait, that's what I was just thinking. Spooky."
Tracer's reaction is not only funny, but it's also perfectly in character. Winston is addicted to peanut butter. In case you missed the CG short Recall, Winston, well, he loves him some peanut butter. He's loved it since he was a wee little gorilla living on the Horizon lunar colony before all his fellow gorillas rebelled and killed everyone on board the station. Well, Winston's love for peanut butter is referenced in one of his in-game dialogue interactions with Mercy when they say,
"Vincent, are you experiencing any issues with your genetic therapy?"
Other than a crippling addiction to peanut butter?
Junkrat considers himself a freedom fighter. In Overwatch, the judgmental ice demon and hypocritical murderer named Mei will try to tell off Junkrat by saying,
"You're just..." How can you even look at yourself in the mirror?
She might also say to Junkrat,
"You are terrible."
Junkrat defends himself in a way that only he can by accurately stating,
I beg your pardon, I consider myself a freedom fighter. A misunderstood one.
Right, and those aren't deadly explosives. They're just misunderstood fireworks. Winston is a real animal. One reason that we love the Tracer-Winston relationship is because they are clearly so comfortable, friendly, and jokey with one another. Tracer's a good friend. I know this because she and her girlfriend spent time with Winston over Christmas so that he wouldn't be lonely. Aw, isn't that sweet? Well, another interaction that we love between these two is when Tracer says,
"Winston, you're an animal."
Winston then says,
"Empirical evidence suggests I'm a real animal."
Ah, the way Winston mixes his science jargon with humor. Doesn't it just have that sort of Bill Nye the Science Guy humor? Reaper and McCree think they both look ridiculous. In one of their in-game dialogue interactions, Reaper will bluntly tell McCree,
"You look ridiculous."
Ouch, Reaper, haven't you ever heard the saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all? Not when to take such a hideous burn lying down, McCree will fire back.
Looked in the mirror lately?
Look, Reaper, if you're gonna go around calling a stylish future cowboy ridiculous, it's a bit like calling the kettle black.
I'm back in black.
Lucio imitates Bastion. In one of Bastion's very few in-game dialogue interactions, Lucio will show Bastion an impression of the gentle Omnic.
Hey, Bastion, check this out. Boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop.
It's a cute and funny moment, made only better by the fact that Bastion beeps a positive response. At least we think it's a positive response. I mean, considering that we don't speak the language, you could be silently thinking, "You fool, Lucio! You think you can make fun of me? You don't know it now, but I am plotting a million ways that I can kill you before you can even blink." That is, of course, what Bastion actually sounds like if it was translated into actual English. And lastly, it's Anna and Torbjorn's reunion. All right, so this one is a little bit less obviously funny, but I had to include it because every time I hear it, I think it's hilarious. So Torbjorn starts by saying,
Anna, they all thought you were dead.
To which she replies,
Well, I had to come back. I was worried you'd get bored, not being able to stick your nose in my business.
Now let's take a moment to reflect on that. Anna came back so that Torbjorn could stick his nose in her business. This is Torbjorn, this is his nose, this is Anna, and this is YouTube, and we don't want to get a mature rating, so I'm sure you get the idea. And that's what we think are the top 10 most hilarious dialogue interactions in Overwatch. But what did you think of this list? Did we miss out on... Hey everyone, Moxus here, and today we're going to present you with as complete a look at the Overwatch universe and timeline that we could come up with. From the technological golden age to the first Omnic Crisis to the Overwatch generation and the recall, this is our journey for you through the overall narrative of Blizzard Entertainment's Overwatch. So buckle up, kiddos. It's time to take a trip through the history and lore of the Overwatch universe. At some point many years from now, Earth was enjoying an age of peace and prosperity. It was a golden age of technology. There was even a science facility called the Horizon Lunar Base that was constructed on the moon by the company Lucheng Interstellar. However, the most stunning breakthrough was the advent of advanced robotics with highly complex artificial intelligence. These advanced robots were, of course, the Omnics. The creation of Omnics boosted the world's prosperity and economy through manufacturing, as the use of Omnics became widespread all over the world. The Omnics were built in large factories called Omniums, created by the Omnica Corporation, and they were found in all the major metropolitan areas on the planet. However, every sunrise has its sunset, which brings us to the Omnic Crisis. The exact point in the imagined future of Overwatch that the Omnic Crisis happened is unknown, but it's about 30 years from now. At this point, the Omnica Corporation was exposed for fraud. The corporation and its Omniums were shut down. What exactly triggered the Omnic Crisis is unknown. However, after the shutdown of the Omniums, the factories were reactivated with a new purpose: mankind's destruction. Much like Skynet in the Terminator series, the Omniums and their robot population waged war against humanity. And because Omniums were built all over the world in major cities, the entire planet was at risk. What is known about the Omniums is that they were built with automated construction machinery and self-improving software algorithms. The Omniums started creating legions of Bastion robots